awesome saucers, blessings and greetings for the season. Hope you all are enjoying the Christmas. So today what we're going to be doing is part 4 of the series of stopping a hive from swarming. So far I've tried a few methodologies or methods of stopping it. What I would implore you to do is to kind of have a premise of what we have done so far. So I'm encouraging you to actually go and check out the part 1, part 2 and part 3 series. I'm going to try and put a playlist link for you to actually find those videos above. Alright, because it's really good to kind of see what I've been doing before you actually watch part 4. Today what we're doing is seeing if putting the space underneath the brood cluster actually will stop them from swarming. Alright, so without further ado, let's go into the hive that was swarming on us. So we're not gonna go down into the lower section. Alright, we just want to check up here where the brood was to see if they've made any more queen cells. Alright, so first frame out, basically how it was before. Little brood in the center with the drone brood. Yeah, so don't see any cells on this frame. None was on it the last time either. This was one of the foundation sheet that they started building out when we came here last time. Looking at it now, it's a little bit more built out with a lot of stores in it. No eggs. Yeah, no eggs on this side either. Just pretty much pollen and nectar stores in it. Now let's take a look at this frame. This frame, I believe, is the frame that they usually put the cells on. So let's see what's happening with regards to it this time around. And you see, the last time I told you guys this frame had so much eggs and larvae in it. As you can see, it's now capped off. Fully capped off at that. Well, the 2 first times we came back and we always saw queen cells in this. So all they have is just a cup. Let's see if anything is in that cup. Alright, so we see an egg in this cup. That's the only thing. We see an egg in that cup, but it's not larvae. So it hasn't hatched out into a larvae. So that means that was laid in there within the past 2 days. Another cup here, nothing. Alright, so we only saw 1 cup on this frame that had a egg inside. That egg would have been laid in there within the past 2 days, I would say. Alright, and the reason why we give it 2 days is because generally an egg will hatch out in 3 days. It hasn't hatched yet, so it's not the 3rd day pretty much. So thereabout it would be 1 to 2 days ago it was pretty much laid in that cup. Alright, so this frame we shifted from the front and put closer for the queen to lay. We don't see any eggs, so it seems as if the queen isn't using this for the past 7 days. Alright, let's see what this frame has. So nothing on that side in terms of cells or cups. Looking down into this, all we're seeing is eggs laid from left to right with the little honey arch. I don't know if you guys will be able to see the eggs, but I can just hold it up and twist it a little bit and see. I don't know if you guys will see the eggs in there. So this frame is filled with eggs inside. Next frame out, let's see what's happening on this. This is all larvae. We see a little cup on this side. Let's see if anything is in there. Alright, so we did see an egg in there with a little bit of puddle. That means they would have laid into that and it hatched out probably within the last 3 to 4 days. So it's not a highly developed larva in that. Alright, so this frame here, the other foundation sheet that we gave. How is the queen using this? Alright, so this is being used for eggs and larvae as well. So in the central section there, that's all larvae and eggs. But their honey arches are very large. That's what I don't understand about this hive, to be honest with you. So it seems as if they expanded a little bit. I probably should have put that other foundation sheet a little bit closer. Based on what I'm seeing, they used the one more to the central section of the box. The other one that was more back to the back, they actually started using that mostly for stores, it seems. So I guess that's the downside of that shift that I did. Alright, so this frame, you see, pretty much brood. And the queen is on this frame. Let's see if I can point her out to you. There she is, looking for space. Don't see any cups on this frame, but ideally we would want the queen to have at least one more frame to lay into. Yeah, see? So what everything that's basically out here is store frames. So a little bit of observation on what we have seen so far. The queen is still laying. It seems as if she has picked up her pace again in terms of how she's laying, because we're kind of seeing more presence of brood in the colony than our last inspection. So basically she's spanning from here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a little bit on this. And a little bit on this as well. So we'll probably call it a 5.5 frame of brood she has in there right now. What we're seeing is, compared to last 2 trials, is that when we came back we actually saw capped off cells, right? Meaning if I didn't look into them, they would have been gone pretty much. And we have been inspecting them on the same time interval every 7 days basically. So what we have observed today is that putting the space below did slow them down in terms of their swarming. The reason why I say this is because I did find 2 cups, one with an egg in there and the other one with a larvae that probably hatched out within the last 2 to 3 days. So that means that queen would have needed to lay in that cell about 5 days ago, the least, right? So that means, let's do the math. So if I did the change, if I mashed all the cells on last week Saturday, so that I would have basically had the Sunday, Monday. So she laid in that cup. They made back a cup and laid into it there about I would say probably about Tuesday, Wednesday. That's what I would say. Alright, so we did see them try and make some more cells, but it's not advanced cells. So I think this is progress, guys. So adding the space below was indeed a good thing. So ideally I feel like to completely win this war against this swarming hive is to put one more built out comb in the middle, but I don't have that at the moment, so I'm just gonna have to let it be. What I did was to just move. I realized that one of the empty combs that I gave them at the back, the queen never basically touched that comb. They're just still using it as stores. I don't know why. It seemed as if she doesn't like that frame at all. So Basically, there was a brood frame behind that, so I kind of just move it ahead. That brood frame will become empty in a couple days when all of those nurse bees hatch out from that frame. So the queen currently is at the front looking for space, I think somewhere along this frame. So she'll gradually move forward into the hive. Trust me, the last 2 inspections I came back and look at them, the cells that I saw were pretty much, they're ready to go in like probably 1 or 2 days if I never inspected them. But no, it's not that advanced. It's like they're slowing down. The queen seems as if she picked up her pace in terms of laying. So here's one more thing we're going to try with this hive, even though we don't really want to do it, but we want to see if it will actually help us out even further. As we said, so far we see where we got progress with adding the space below. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to move off the queen excluder. It's a little bit risky, but here's why I'm going to do it this time around. This time around, I don't see indications where the queen really wants to lay a lot of drones. I do see drone larvae at the back, but it's not a lot. And there's some on another frame that they're pretty much storing nectar in. So once you see them kind of start storing nectar into the drone cells, that means they're not ready, or they're not preparing to expand their drone population. Hence going into a swarm tendency, right? So right now I feel like I can actually remove the queen excluder for a time being. We're just gonna remove it until next week to just see what happens if they completely stop the swarming tendency that they have, and just let them have that free roam. We hope, I think there's some frames up here that have a little bit of what you'd call it, worker cells, but most of the frames, or majority of the frames here, have predominantly drone cells in them. So it's a little bit risky, but we're gonna try it and see if that will now completely stop them from swarming. All right, so that's what we're going to be doing. All right guys, so from what we're seeing is adding the space below the brood cluster definitely helped out a bit in terms of slowing them down, I feel like. And the reason why we said that is because from the last 2 observations, what we saw is that every time we came back, they had capped off cells ready to go, basically then in the next 1 or 2 days if we never inspected them. This time around, what we're basically seeing is just a cup with an egg and a cup with a larva that hatched out there about 1 or 2 days ago. So that means those cells were pretty much made within the last four days basically. So definitely there's some form of slowing down for them in terms of the swarming tendency that they have built up right now. Ideally, what we would need to do is probably give them a worker cell comb in the center of the brood cluster to give the queen a little bit more space, and take out one of the nectar frames that is to the front basically. And I think that would pretty much stop them. Right now what we're doing as a measure is just to basically remove the queen excluder so they have that space above, or that free roam above, even though right now they have recognized it as space because a lot of bees are up there guarding the nectar that's there. So what we just want to do is just give the queen a little bit more breathing room in terms of where she can lay. It seems as if this queen is a really prolific queen, and having 6 or 6.5 frames to lay in isn't enough. It seems like she probably need 1 or 2 more frames. So right now it doesn't seem as if there's a nectar flow where there's bringing in a lot of nectar to build out the foundation sheets that I gave them. They kind of just built it out over the past 2 weeks. They've only built it out probably about 80%. So that means they're probably not getting a lot of nectar right now, or within that past 2 weeks, to really do that. We don't know what next week will bring, because we don't know if anything will start blooming soon. The lago trees still haven't bloom as yet, so we don't even know. As I said early in the video, definitely go and check out the earlier parts, 1, 2 and 3. I'll try to have the playlist linked in the video so you guys can have quick access to those videos. So just go and check those out to see what we have done before, how we try to stop a hive from swarming, and you'll see different things that we tried out. All right, so definitely guys, thanks for tuning in. Your time was greatly appreciated. Just want to implore you, give the video a like, share it with your friends, hit that subscription and notification bell so you can see when new videos come out. Peace out and enjoy the rest of your holiday.